Welcome back to Project 613. Today we continue learning the mitzvah given to the Beis Din to establish a Jewish calendar, to calculate months and the years, and to proclaim and sanctify Rosh Chodesh every single month. We know this from the verse that says, HaChodesh hazeh lachem Rosh Chodeshim, this month shall be for you the beginning of the months. So how was this mitzvah actually performed in the Beis HaMikdash when there was a Sanhedrin? What did it actually mean to proclaim the beginning of the new month? So Rosh Chodesh really is the birth of the new moon. Rosh Chodesh is the moment that the new moon can be seen from the position of Earth. As we've learned previously, the Jewish months follow the lunar cycle, which takes approximately 29 and a half days each month from when the moon is reborn, then it waxes and wanes, and when it reaches its original position opposite the sun, where it is invisible from the position of Earth, that is known as the Molad, and a short time later, when it's visible again, that is Rosh Chodesh. But in order for Beis Din to proclaim Rosh Chodesh every single month, two things would have to take place. Number one, Beis Din would have to be proficient in all the astronomical calculations to know exactly when Rosh Chodesh could really be, at what exact moment in time the moon meets up the sun in its cycle, and at what moment in time the moon is then visible from Earth, where it could technically be Rosh Chodesh. But then, according to the Torah, in order for Beis Din to proclaim the day that occurs, Rosh Chodesh, Beis Din first has to wait for eyewitness testimony who would come and tell them that they've already seen the moon, that they've seen the new moon. Only then could Beis Din proclaim the day to be Rosh Chodesh. So what would actually happen on a monthly basis in the Holy Temple was that on day 30 of each month, Beis Din would first determine astronomically if it was even possible that the night before the moon could have been seen. And if it was, then the following day, day 30, Beis Din would sit and wait all day for witnesses to come and say that they saw the moon the previous night. If witnesses came and the testimony was proved to be true, then that day was proclaimed Rosh Chodesh, and in effect, that would mean that the previous month had 29 days, and that day would be Rosh Chodesh, would be day one of the following month. If no witnesses would show up, or if witnesses would come and their testimony was proven to be false, then Rosh Chodesh would be pushed to day 31, and that day, day 30, would be considered day 30 of the previous month, and Rosh Chodesh would be the next day. Now, how was the news spread? The answer is that originally there was a system of lighting bonfires on the mountaintops, and that means they would light a bonfire on the mountaintops in Jerusalem, and then the next communities would see that, and the next communities would see that, until the news would spread all around the country and even further out. The Mishnah tells us that the list of specific mountaintops where they would light the fires that were able to be seen all the way until the community that lived in Pumbedisa in Babylonia. And that's how they would know when to observe the holidays. Now, the fires would only be lit on a month that only had 29 days. A month that had 29 days, and day 30 was proclaimed day one of Rosh Chodesh. Then that evening, the fires would be lit, and then the community would know that Rosh Chodesh was on day 30. If no fires were lit, then they would know that the month was given the extra 30th day, and Rosh Chodesh was on day 31. Now, this system only worked for a limited amount of time. At one point, it was sabotaged by the Samaritans, by the Kutim, who started lighting fires on the wrong day, and then this ultimately confused the people on when to observe the holidays. And ever since then, Beis Din started a different system where they would send out messengers, specific certified messengers from Beis Din, to let each community know which specific day was proclaimed to be Rosh Chodesh. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.